I wanted to thank you for taking time to speak with me today.
Sure,
Thank you.
thanks. Thank you.
I wanted to ask about the creative process for Echoes. How was the process for putting the material together, and how long did it take to put the material together?
Some of the songs was already written when we created the band in August last year. Few of the songs were already written, but we started for real writing the album in late September last year. So it was pretty quick.
And the recordings were made in April or something like that.
Yeah.
So from April to October is the process of releasing the record and so on. But the record, we have our own studio, so we could record and do all that by ourselves, and that's a pretty good feature for us.
I also wanted to ask you about two of the tracks on the album. Two of my favorites. My favorite song is "The Other Side." I wanted to ask if you could speak on that track.
Of course. That was one of the songs that we wrote before. Me and Peter and Michael wrote the song before we created the band. When our previous band was on a hiatus, we continued writing music and wrote The Other Side. So that was one of the first songs that Daniel, the vocalist, sang on, and when he did it, it was just wow.
Yeah.
But it really was two songs to start with. I mean the first minute, the guitar solo, if you want, and the riff that starts up the song, it was basically two ideas, and we just melted them together.
Yeah.
When Carl says the song was written, yes, they were, but they were never completed. So we have the sketches, if you want, for the song. So.
And when you guys create, are you able to create together as a band, or are you sending files back and forth?
No. Most often, some of us comes up with an idea. For example, I come up with an idea at home. Maybe I record it at home, or I take it down to the studio and start recording it there and show to the guys, and here's an idea I have, and then we modify it together.
Mm-hmm. And another track I wanted to discuss is The One. I wanted to ask if you could speak on that track.
Yeah, of course. We didn't really thought of it as the first single. It was a record label that already from the beginning said that this is the first single. But now we think it was a great idea.
Yeah, we couldn't choose ourselves what songs to put out there as the first single, and the record company kind of helped us. But I just wanted to mention a funny thing about the creative process, because we do all the songs in the studio. We've been together now with the other guys for almost a year. And the first time we rehearsed together as a band, playing together, playing the songs together, was kind of a couple of weeks ago. So all things are really done in the studio. We do our own things. We write the songs, we record them. We realize we could do this better. We go on it again and again. And the first time we rehearsed the songs as a band at the same time, 2 or 3 weeks ago.
And for The One, the main idea was to have a song a little bit in the same touch as Intuition with the TNT. that riff and the tempo of the song, and we wanted it to be like a train going all the way, not taking it down or just going.
TNT has been one of my favorite bands growing up.
Fantastic band.
Amazing material. I think one of the most untalked about bands that are absolutely amazing.
Absolutely.
You don't hear a lot of talk about TNT, and it's a shame because the material is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've ever heard. I also wanted to ask you, you guys did 2 videos, Without You and The One. How did they go?
How did they perform, or?
Yes, how was the process for, and what were the locations, especially on the rooftop? What was the location there?
We early we were out for an idea that we wanted to be on a rooftop because the band name Nationwide, we wanted great views, and it's kind of hard to find a place, a rooftop where you can be, and one of my old friends is the, vad kallar man, fastighetsskötare? Like the janitor of this building, and I asked him, can we be on top, because it's our hometown is not really a big town, and this building was the first high building. They call it the Västerås skyscraper, and I asked him, can we be on top of that building? And he said, okay, of course, anything for rock and roll, as long as you don't fall down and die, because then I go to jail.
I have a terrible fear of heights, so it was not really easy to go up there. But the fun thing about it is it's in a residential area. It's 60 stories high building, and when we record a video, we need sound. I mean, the drums are acoustic, and we need speakers to hear what we're doing. And after a while, the residents in the area started to write on Facebook, what is happening, what new neighbor moved in the area. Yeah. There were people coming, living a kilometer away, coming and what's happening.
Yeah, and so writing on Facebook who's rehearsing on the rooftops, and wrote that it was nice with live music in the evening.
I also wanted to ask you, the album artwork is very immersive and perfect for the album. I wanted to ask how you came across the artwork for the album.
I did it.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and there as well, I have always loved beautiful artworks from when I was a kid and sat down with the vinyl records and looked at the artworks, and I love the colors on the Dio record, Last in Line. So yeah. I wanted to adapt the colors from that, but also get the feeling of Nationwide with the kids standing on the cliff, looking out of over the nation or the world, and you don't know if it's in a positive way. Is it a brand new morning, or is it dystopic? You don't know, and I want the viewer to feel the artwork.
Sure, and upon my experience with it and looking at the album artwork while listening to the album, it brought to me the vision of a new beginning.
Yeah.
Because Every day when we wake up, one of the great things that we are blessed with is every time the sun rises, we get to start again and start anew.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what we did with this band. So it speaks for itself in that way. Three of us played in another band earlier, and we disbanded a year ago and started this band instead. So we're quite. It's quite a new beginning for us.
I wanted to ask you, what's the next step for the band? Will you take to the road?
Yeah, we're rehearsing right now and trying to get some gigs, both clubs and festivals. We all love to play live, so our main focus right now is rehearsing and get out on the road. And at the same time, we're already working on album number 2.
Wow.
We have recorded some demos, some ideas, and we hope to have it released about next winter, hopefully.
Speaking of your rehearsals, I wanted to ask you, since it took a long time for you guys to actually get together and rehearse, I wanted to ask you, when you got together and you played live, did you feel the magic that I feel upon listening to the album when you were all together in one room?
My first thought when we had rehearsed a couple of songs was, we don't need to rehearse. We know this shit.
Yeah.
So it was a great moment actually to see that we were able to make all those songs that everyone has did their little pieces on some half year ago or something like that. And when we started to play it, it just was there. So
Yeah.
super excited about that.
And really magical. Yeah, it feels really, really good.
Yeah, because upon listening to the album, one thing that really shone through with me was the sound that you guys create together. Almost sounded like everyone was working off of everyone. And that only happens once in a while with bands, where everyone's feeding off everyone, and it makes something that's very special and very magical.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you as well, if you could each speak on your musical development and let me know what age you began and how your journey started.
Mm-hmm.
I started playing. I've never been a sports guy, so I just started with listening to music and hard rock when I was about 7 or 8 years old, and started to play guitar when I was about 12 or 13, and got my first band when I was 15 years old. And I have always had the dream of being a rock star, playing in a rock band. And when I started to high school, the first day, everybody had to stand up and tell everybody what the dream was in 5 years. And I stood up and said, I'm gonna be a rock and roll star. That was about it. And through the years, people have told me that, oh, you can't stop playing that hard rock music, or you can't do this, you can't do that. But I always have had the dream, and right now I'm living my dream with these guys doing the music that I love, and having great response for the album, and meeting guys like you, Bob. So that's fantastic.
And for me, my father played the accordion, the pull play, as we say. I didn't want to play the accordion. And when I was about 12, I found the hard rock and heavy metal music through Judas Priest and Van Halen. I bought my first guitar for about $50. It was Eddie Van Halen striped Stratocaster copy. And I played it on my father's Fender Super Reverb. It was not that tough, so I had to run out and buy a distortion pedal, and then I was in. A few years later, some guys found out that I kind of knew how to play guitar, but not very good, and asked if I want to play bass with them in the band. That was the first time I realized that the bass only had 4 strings. I had no idea before that. I was 14 or 15, something like that. But then, you know, my story is a bit different, because when I, after military service and so on, the bands kind of just blows away. Nothing came out of it, and you meet a girlfriend, and you suddenly have a wife and an apartment and kids, and I just quit. So I wasn't playing anything for about 10 or 15 years. Started then playing some hard rock covers with a few friends, and I started to be in the music business again. And so when I was invited to play in the former band with Carl, Age of Reflection, it was really better soon than later.
And I wanted to ask you, along the band's journey, what do you feel has been the best advice that's been given to you guys along your journey?
I think one of the best advices we got today, because people kind of realize we're lousy at promotion and we need help. So that's a good advice.
Yeah,
I think we need help with promotion. Yeah,
and also be true to what you do. Believe in your music. Don't write music for anybody else, or as long as we write songs that we think is good and music that we love, it's more than good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I think that's very important advice, because we all have to look ourselves in the mirror in the morning and like what we see.
Yeah, and also, but not much of an advice, but feedback we got when we have been playing out at big festivals in Europe, that we are always, or they come to us afterwards and are hugging us and are thankful, because we are not divas. We are
easy to handle and down to earth.
Yeah, and humble and nice. And a lot of musicians, when they come to that level that they play at big festivals, they think they're rock and roll stars and act like morons.
Sure, absolutely, and that itself is great advice. You know, one of the best advice I was given along my way was, just remember that the people you meet on the way up are the same people you'll meet on the way down. So it means
Exactly.
how you treat people.
True that.
I wanted to ask you as well, what's the best way to get a physical copy of the album and any merchandise that you have?
I think it's via our writing to us on Instagram or via our Facebook page.
If you want a signed copy, that's the best way. But of course, the album is out there. I don't know if it's distributed in the US, but otherwise, Pride and Joy, our record label, sells it on the web, of course, and a lot of other. I would guess it's on Amazon, and so it's available online everywhere, I guess.
Yeah, but just write us a message on Facebook or Instagram, and we'll love to send you a signed copy.
Isn't that touching the promotion thing? Because we don't have a web shop yet. We will have, but we haven't really gotten there. So we will be there, but not yet.
Lastly, I wanted to ask you both, I wanted to give you each the floor and to give a message that you have for your fans.
Listen to our music, spread the word. Nationwide are here to stay. Album 2 is coming out, and we'll love to come to your hometown to play our music. So play us loud for everyone to hear and spread the word.
wanted to take a moment myself to personally thank you for creating an album that I enjoyed from top to bottom. It is literally one of the best albums I've heard this year.
Wow.
Thank you,
Wow,
thank you.
And I hope that when new news arise, you'll please feel free to update me. I'd love to interview you again, my friends.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Take care, my friends. You have a great day.
Thank you. And a dream is to come to United States and play. Then we gotta go to Ohio.
Seeing you there. We'll have a great time.
Okay.
You take care.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.